The galaxy's most dangerous woman's accidental husband part. Jake Morrison sat in the dirty prison cell and wondered how his life had gone so wrong. Just 3 days ago, he was flying his cargo ship through space, minding his own business. He was a simple trader who moved goods from one planet to another. It was boring work, but it was honest and safe. Then the pirates came. They boarded his ship near the Helix Nebula. Jake tried to run, but his old cargo hauler was no match for their fast attack ships. They took everything he owned and dragged him to a place called Terminus 7. It was a huge space station that floated in the middle of nowhere. The station was run by criminals, and they planned to sell Jake as a worker to the mining colonies. The cell smelled terrible. It was full of aliens from different worlds, all waiting to be sold. Jake sat in the corner and tried not to panic. He had heard stories about the mining colonies. People who went there never came back. That was when he noticed her. She sat across from him in the corner of the cell. She had dark hair pulled back tight and blue eyes that looked at everything like she was counting exits and weapons. She wore torn clothes, but she sat straight and calm, like being in a pirate prison was just another boring day. Jake knew who she was. Everyone in human space knew Commander Victoria Cross. She was famous. Some people called her a hero. Others called her a criminal. The stories about her were wild. She had stopped an alien invasion all by herself. She had destroyed an entire pirate fleet with just one damaged ship. She had told an admiral to go to hell and walked away without getting shot. The bounty on her head was huge. Enough money to buy a small planet. She was also supposed to be the most dangerous human alive. Jake tried not to stare, but it was hard. Victoria Cross was a legend, and now she was in the same cell as him. He wondered what she had done to get captured. Then again, even legends had bad days. The pirates came a few hours later. They opened the cell and started pulling prisoners out one by one. They were going to auction everyone off to the highest bidder. Jake felt his heart race. This was it. His life as a free man was over. But Victoria moved. She was fast. 1 second she was sitting calmly. The next second, 3 guards were on the ground and she had a gun in her hand. The other prisoners started running. Guards shouted and alarms started blaring. It was complete chaos. Victoria grabbed Jake by the arm and pulled him through a door. He stumbled after her, confused and scared. They ran down a hallway while laser fire lit up the walls around them. Victoria moved like she knew exactly where she was going. They burst through another door into a strange room. It was round and filled with glowing symbols on the walls. In the center was a tall pedestal covered in alien writing. The symbols glowed with soft blue light. Victoria looked around the room quickly. Her eyes landed on the pedestal and she smiled. It was not a nice smile. "What are we doing?" Jake asked. His voice shook. "Buying time," Victoria said. She was already examining the pedestal. "This is a Xanthari bonding chamber." "A what?" "The Xanthari are a religious species. This chamber is used for their marriage ceremonies. Station law says bonded pairs are sacred. Once a ceremony starts, no one can touch us for 72 hours. It is their most important law." Jake stared at her. "Marriage? You want to get married?" "I want to not get sold to a mining colony. You have about 2 seconds to decide if you feel the same way." Outside, they could hear the guards getting closer. Someone was shouting orders. Jake heard the word kill and reward mixed together. "Fine," Jake said. "Let's get married." Victoria pulled him to the pedestal. She pressed one of his hands against the glowing symbols and put her own hand next to his. The moment they both touched it, the room changed. The symbols started spinning around them. Lights flashed in colors Jake had never seen before. Something warm ran through his body, starting at his hand and spreading everywhere. It did not hurt, but it felt strange. Like electricity, but gentler. The air hummed with energy. The door to the chamber sealed shut with a heavy sound. Outside, the guards were yelling. Then Jake heard different voices. They sounded official and angry. The guards were arguing with someone about station law. The ceremony lasted about 5 minutes. When it ended, the lights faded and the room went quiet. Jake pulled his hand away from the pedestal. His fingers tingled. "Congratulations," Victoria said. Her voice was dry and emotionless. "You are now married to the most wanted woman in 4 star systems." "I did not even get flowers," Jake muttered. "Most people do not survive meeting me." "Consider yourself lucky." "Lucky? We are trapped in a pirate station. We are protected by sacred law for 3 days. That is more than luck." "That's a miracle." Jake sat down on the floor. His legs felt weak. He had just gotten married. To Commander Victoria Cross, the universe had officially gone insane. Outside the chamber, he could hear the argument continuing. The guards wanted to break in, but the other voices, which Jake realized must be station officials, were refusing. Xanthari law was absolute. Breaking it meant every Xanthari in the galaxy would declare war on the station. Even pirates were not that stupid. Victoria was not sitting around waiting. She was already examining the walls, looking for weak points or hidden exits. She moved constantly, checking everything, planning something. Jake could see her mind working even if he could not hear her thoughts. "Do you do this often?" Jake asked. "The marriage thing?" Victoria looked at him. Her expression was cold enough to freeze stars. "You are the first. Try not to die in the next 3 days. I have a reputation to keep. Your reputation is that everyone around you dies." "Exactly. I would hate to break my perfect record because of someone annoying like you." Despite everything, despite being terrified and confused and probably doomed, Jake almost laughed. If he was going to die, at least it would be interesting. What Jake did not know was that the Xanthari bonding ceremony was not just a legal trick. It was real. The ceremony had linked him to Victoria in ways neither of them understood yet. Their lives were connected now. Their instincts would merge. They would feel each other's danger and emotions, and all across the galaxy, dangerous people were about to learn that Commander Victoria Cross had changed. She had always been dangerous when she fought alone. Now she had a partner, someone linked to her by forces older than human civilization. The most dangerous woman in the galaxy had just gained a weakness. But that weakness was about to make her more dangerous than ever before. Jake sat on the floor of the bonding chamber and tried to accept his new reality. He was married. To a legend. To someone who scared warlords and made admirals nervous. His boring life was over. The adventure was just beginning. The 72 hours ended with an explosion that shook the entire station. Victoria had spent 3 days working without stopping. She hacked into the station computers using tools Jake did not even know existed. She found weaknesses in the chamber walls. She studied guard schedules and mapped escape routes. Jake mostly stayed out of her way and wondered if all marriages were this stressful. He also noticed something strange happening. Sometimes he would feel things that were not his own feelings, like a warning in the back of his head when danger was near, or a sudden knowledge of which direction Victoria was moving even when he was not looking at her. "The bond," Victoria explained when he asked. "It is active now. We can sense threats to each other. We share some instincts." "That is weird," Jake said. "That is survival," Victoria corrected him. When the 3 days ended, the chamber doors unlocked automatically. Victoria was ready. She had made weapons from pieces of the chamber equipment. She had a plan. Jake hoped it was a good plan because he did not have one at all. The guards rushed in the moment the doors opened. They were angry about waiting 3 days and wanted revenge. But Victoria moved first. She fought like nothing Jake had ever seen. Fast and precise and brutal. Guards fell before they could even aim their weapons. But there were so many of them. Too many. That was when Jake felt it. A sharp feeling in his mind like a bell ringing. Danger. From the left. He did not think. He just grabbed Victoria and pulled her to the right. A laser blast went through the space where her head had been 1 second before. Victoria looked at him with surprise. Then something that might have been respect showed in her eyes. "Good," she said. "You are learning." She threw a weapon to him. It was a plasma pistol from one of the fallen guards. Jake caught it. He was not a fighter, but he knew how to shoot. Every traitor in space knew basic defense. "Try not to hit me," Victoria said. It would be embarrassing. They fought their way through the station together. Jake discovered that being bonded to Victoria gave him advantages. He could feel where she was without looking. He knew when she was about to move. His normal, average fighting skills were better because somehow he understood. Tactics that came from her mind to his. It was like dancing with a partner who knew every step before he did. They reached the docking bay breathing hard and covered in sweat. Jake's old cargo ship was there, locked down by the station. Next to it was another ship Jake had never seen before. It was sleek and black and looked extremely dangerous. "That is mine," Victoria said. "The Valkyrie. Best ship in the fleet before they kicked me out." "They kicked you out?" Jake asked as they ran toward the ship. "I thought you were a commander." "I was. Past tense. The Terran Defense Force did not like it when I refused to abandon civilians. They called it disobeying orders. I called it being human. They got on board the Valkyrie. Jake stared at everything. The ship was small but packed with military weapons and technology that made his cargo hauler look like a toy. Everything was clean and efficient and deadly. "Welcome aboard, Commander," a female voice said from the speakers. "I see you brought someone. Should I prepare the prison cell?" "No, Lucy, this is Jake Morrison. He is my husband." There was a pause. The AI seemed shocked, if that was possible. "You are joking," the voice said. "Do I ever joke?" "No, Commander, never. Should I prepare divorce papers?" "Not yet. He is growing on me, like a useful plant." Jake decided not to be insulted. He was too busy strapping into the seat next to Victoria as she started the ship. The engines roared to life. Victoria's hands flew over the controls. The Valkyrie shot out of the docking bay so fast that Jake's stomach dropped. Behind them, the station's defense guns started shooting. Missiles filled the space around them. Victoria dodged and weaved and returned fire all at the same time. The ship moved like it was alive, like it was part of her. "So," Jake said, gripping his seat as they barely avoided an explosion. "Where are we going for our honeymoon?" "Sigma Station," Victoria said. Her voice was calm even though they were about to die. "I have business there." "What kind of business?" "The kind that involves breaking into the most secure military base in human space, and probably starting a small war." "That is not a honeymoon. That is suicide," Victoria smiled. It was the most dangerous smile Jake had ever seen. "Husband, you have no idea what you got yourself into. I am called the galaxy's most dangerous woman for a reason. Not because I am the best fighter. Not because I am the smartest. But because I never give up, ever." She pushed the Valkyrie through a jump gate. The stars stretched and bent around them. The pursuing ships could not follow fast enough. "They were free, and now I have you," Victoria continued. "Someone who is linked to me. Someone who can watch my back in ways no one else can. Someone who can sense danger to me the same way I can sense danger to him." Jake watched the stars blur past. He was thinking about what she said. His boring life was completely over. He would never go back to being a simple trader moving cargo from one planet to another. That person was gone. "Now I am unstoppable," Victoria said quietly. Jake looked at her profile as she piloted the ship. She was right. She was dangerous. She was ruthless. She was everything people said about her. But she was also fighting for something. She refused to abandon people who needed help. She stood up to admirals and pirates and anyone else who did wrong things. She was a hero, even if she did not call herself one. And somehow, by accident and luck and pure chaos, Jake was now her partner. He was bonded to her, connected to her. His life was tied to hers. He should be terrified. He should demand she take him somewhere safe. He should want his old boring life back, but he did not. "Okay," Jake said. "What do we do first?" Victoria glanced at him. Something flickered in her expression. Approval, maybe? Or the beginning of trust. "First we plan, then we strike. Then we change the galaxy." "Just another normal day," Jake said. "Normal is over, husband. Get used to chaos. It is our life now." Behind them, across many star systems, alarms were going off. Security forces were scrambling. Commander Victoria Cross was active again. And this time, she was not alone. The most dangerous woman in the galaxy had a partner now. Someone who could keep up with her. Someone who was linked to her in ways that made them stronger together. The galaxy was about to learn what that meant. And for corrupt officials and evil corporations and anyone who hurt innocent people, it meant their worst nightmare had just become twice as dangerous. Jake Morrison had accidentally married a legend. Now he was about to become part of that legend. Together they would fight for justice across the stars. Together they would face impossible odds and win. Together they were something new. Something the galaxy had never seen before, and they were just getting started. Sigma Station hung in space like a giant metal ring. It orbited a huge gas planet and was home to the most secret military projects in human space. Getting inside would be nearly impossible. Getting out alive would be even harder. Victoria showed Jake the plans while Lucy displayed maps and security information on the screens. "They are doing experiments here," Victoria explained. Her voice was tight with anger. "They call it quantum research. They say it is for better communication between ships. But they are testing it on people. Prisoners, refugees, people nobody will look for. Jake felt sick. How do you know this? Because I was supposed to guard the place. When I found out what they were really doing, I refused. That is why they discharged me. And that is why I'm going to destroy this project and expose everyone involved. And steal the evidence? Proof, names, records, everything. When I am done, the people responsible will face justice. Lucy's voice came through the speakers. Commander, I must point out that the station has automated defense systems, 3,000 Marines, and Admiral Patrick Holloway is in command. He has stated publicly that he wants you dead. Holloway. Victoria's hands tightened on the controls. He is there? Yes, he arrived 2 weeks ago. Jake watched Victoria's face. He could feel her anger through their bond. It was like standing near a fire. You know him. He ordered troops to abandon civilians on a colony world. 200 people, including children. He said saving them would delay his fleet by 6 hours. I disobeyed his order and saved them. He has hated me ever since. So this is personal. Everything is personal when people's lives are involved. They approached the station using fake identification codes that Lucy created. They pretended to be maintenance workers. Jake wore a gray jumpsuit and carried tools. Victoria hid her distinctive appearance under a cap and normal clothes. She almost looked like a regular person. Almost. Stop walking like you are about to kill someone, Jake whispered as they went through security. I am about to kill someone, Victoria whispered back. Yes, but the guards do not need to know that yet. She changed how she walked slightly. Jake was surprised. Commander Victoria Cross, the woman who told an admiral to go to hell, was actually listening to him. A simple cargo trader was giving her advice, and she was taking it. They made it 3 levels deep into the station before their luck ran out. An officer recognized Victoria despite her disguise. He reached for his communication device. Jake did not think. He just moved. He bumped into the officer and spilled cleaning liquid all over him. In the confusion, Victoria acted. The officer went down silently. Nice work, Victoria said. I am learning from the best. They dragged the unconscious officer into a storage closet. Victoria took his security card and his encrypted communicator. Lucy, we are discovered. How long do we have? 4 minutes, Commander. I suggest speed. They ran through the corridors. Jake felt the bond working hard. Every time guards came near, he sensed it through Victoria's awareness. Every time danger appeared, they moved together perfectly. It was like they had practiced for years instead of just days. They reached the research level, and what Jake saw made him want to throw up. Through windows, he could see people strapped to machines. Their heads were covered in metal devices with wires. Some people were screaming. Others were silent in a way that was much worse than screaming. Oh God, Jake whispered. Victoria's face looked like stone, but through the bond, Jake felt her rage. It burned like a star. Start downloading everything. Lucy, are you receiving? Yes, Commander. This is horrible. I am recording war crimes as fast as I can process them. They worked quickly, copying files and evidence. But alarms started blaring before they finished. Admiral Holloway's voice came through every speaker in the station. Commander Cross, I should have known. You never could follow orders. Surrender now and I will make your death quick. Victoria picked up the communicator.
Holloway.
I should have known you would be part of something this evil. Do you sleep well at night, or do you hear them screaming? Spare me your moral speeches. You are a traitor and a criminal. I am authorized to kill you. Then come try, but I should warn you. I am married now, and my husband is learning how to fight just like me. Jake blinked. Was that pride in her voice? Marines poured into the research level. There were dozens of them. Victoria and Jake fought back to back. Through the bond, they moved like one person in 2 bodies. When she went high, he went low. When he reloaded, she covered him. They had only been together for a week, but they fought like lifetime partners. They cut a path through the station toward their ship. Behind them, Victoria set off explosives she had planted while stealing the data. The research equipment exploded. Fire and smoke filled the level. But Lucy had already hacked the emergency systems. The test subjects were being evacuated automatically. They reached the docking bay to find Admiral Holloway waiting with 100 Marines. End of the line, Cross, he said. Victoria smiled. You still do not understand. The data is already transmitted. Every news network in human space has it now. Every government. Everyone knows what you did here. You are finished. Holloway's face went white, then red with rage. Kill them both. Jake pulled Victoria behind cover as plasma fire filled the air. They ran for the Valkyrie. Lucy opened fire with the ship's guns, covering their escape. They scrambled on board. Victoria launched the ship immediately. They barely escaped before the station's weapons could lock on. Lucy had hacked the targeting systems. Every shot the station fired missed them. They jumped into hyperspace, leaving destruction behind them. In the quiet of faster-than-light travel, Jake finally let himself breathe. That was insane, he said. That was justice, Victoria corrected. Those people are free now. Holloway will face trial. There will be consequences. We just embarrassed the military in front of everyone. Let them come. I am done hiding. Jake looked at her. This woman who had changed his entire life, who had married him by accident and dragged him into a war. He should be angry. He should be scared. Instead, he was starting to understand why people told stories about her. So what does the most dangerous woman in the galaxy do next? Victoria's smile was sharp. Whatever she wants. And this time she has help. Through the bond, Jake felt her absolute certainty, her unshakable determination to do what was right no matter the cost, and he realized that he was not her accidental husband anymore. He was her actual partner. The galaxy was about to learn something important. Commander Victoria Cross had always been dangerous on her own, but now she had someone who understood her, someone who could keep up with her, someone who was linked to her by forces neither of them fully understood. Together, they were unstoppable. Across human space, the news spread. Videos from Sigma Station, evidence of horrible crimes. Admiral Holloway arrested. 3 senators resigning in shame. The Terran Defense Force in chaos. And at the center of it all, 2 people. A commander and a traitor, a warrior and a witness. The galaxy's most dangerous woman and the husband who made her even more dangerous because he gave her something beyond herself to fight for. They were partners, now in every way that mattered, and they were just beginning their war for justice. The message arrived 3 days after they escaped from Sigma Station. It was encrypted and marked urgent. Lucy decoded it while Victoria and Jake were arguing about food. He wanted real meals. She thought nutrition paste was more efficient. Commander, Lucy interrupted. You need to see this. A woman's face appeared on the screen. She looked pale and frightened. She wore the uniform of a colony administrator. Commander Cross. My name is Linda Hayes. I run New Hope Colony in the Outer Reach. We are under attack by the Carvex corporate fleet. They say we are sitting on valuable minerals. They have legal papers saying they can remove us. But Commander, they are not just removing us. They are killing us. Please, we heard the stories about you. We need help. No one else will come. We have families here, children, please help us. The message ended. Jake looked at Victoria. Through their bond, he could feel her internal war. New Hope was 4 days away at top speed. By the time they arrived, it might be too late. And fighting a corporate fleet with 1 small ship was suicide. We are going, Victoria said quietly. I know, Jake said. It is probably a trap. Corporate security has wanted me dead since I destroyed their slave operation in the Deneb sector. I know that too. We will probably die. Jake smiled. Then I guess it is good I married someone who is too stubborn to stay dead. Victoria looked at him for a long moment. Something changed in her expression. The cold mask cracked a little. You are an idiot, Jake Morrison. Yes, but I am your idiot. Till death do us part, remember? They pushed the Valkyrie's engines to maximum. Lucy monitored news feeds constantly. The evidence from Sigma Station had exploded across human space. Admiral Holloway was in prison. 3 senators had resigned. The military was in chaos with different groups fighting for control. We have become symbols, Lucy observed. The rebel commander and her unlikely partner, fighting corruption. Social media is obsessed with you. There are already shows being made about your lives. Great, Jake muttered. I always wanted to be a fictional character. Do not worry, Victoria said. The real versions of us are much more likely to die horribly. That makes me feel so much better. They arrived at New Hope to find the colony being bombed from orbit. 3 Carvex Corporation ships surrounded the planet. They were destroying defensive positions one by one. On the ground, soldiers were rounding up colonists and forcing them into ships. Lucy, analysis. 3 frigate-class vessels with heavy weapons. We are outgunned by about 50 to 1. I calculate survival odds at 3%. So you are saying there is a chance, Jake said. Victoria actually laughed. It was the first time Jake had heard her really laugh. The sound made him smile even though they were about to die. Here is the plan, Victoria said. Lucy, I need you to broadcast on all frequencies. Every news network, every social media platform, every emergency channel in human space. Confirm target? Everything. I want the entire galaxy watching. The Valkyrie dropped toward the planet. Lucy started broadcasting. Victoria positioned them between the corporate fleet and the colony. They were one small ship against 3 warships. It was insane. Attention Carvex corporate fleet, Victoria said. Her voice was amplified across space. This is Commander Victoria Cross of the Valkyrie. You are attacking civilians in violation of treaties. Withdraw immediately or face consequences, a male voice responded. Commander Cross, this is Captain Ryan Stevens of the KCF Profit Margin. Stand down. This is a legal corporate action. These colonists are squatters on Carvex property. New Hope was established under the Homestead Act of 2247. These people have legal rights to this land. You are not enforcing law, Stevens. You are committing murder for profit, and the whole galaxy is watching you do it right now. There was a pause. You are bluffing. Lucy, show them. The screen lit up with thousands of connection requests. News networks from every major human world. Social media going viral. Millions of people watching live. The galaxy is watching, Captain Stevens. What you do next will define you forever. Are you a soldier following illegal orders? Or are you someone who remembers that laws exist to protect people, not corporate profits? Jake could hear the strain in Victoria's voice. She was betting everything on this. On publicity, on shame. On the hope that Captain Stevens had a conscience buried somewhere under his uniform. Nothing happened for a long moment. Then one of the Carvex ships broke formation. Its engines fired and it jumped away into hyperspace. What? Stevens sounded shocked. Lieutenant Monroe returned to formation immediately. A new voice came over the channel. Negative, Captain. I reviewed the Homestead Act. Commander Cross is right. This is illegal. I will not be part of mass murder. Monroe out. The second ship followed, and then there was just the profit margin alone against the Valkyrie and millions of watching eyes. You have destroyed me, Cross, Stevens said quietly. No, Victoria replied. You destroyed yourself when you chose money over people. You can still make the right choice. Leave. Let these people live. Face justice with whatever dignity you have left. The profit margin's weapons powered down. Then it too jumped away into hyperspace. The colony erupted in celebration. Linda Hayes appeared on the communication screen with tears running down her face. Thank you. Oh God, thank you so much. Stay safe, Victoria said. File formal complaints with the Trade Authority. With this many witnesses, Carvex Corporation will have to answer for their actions. They jumped away before the celebrations continued. They left the colonists to their victory and their freedom. In the quiet of hyperspace travel, Jake turned to Victoria. You know what you just did? You proved that one person can make a difference. That fighting for what is right actually matters. Victoria corrected, what we did. I could not have done it without you. I did not do anything. I just stood next to you. You believed in me. You did not question whether we should help, even though it was dangerous. You make me better, Jake. You make me remember that it is not just about the fighting. It is about what we are fighting for. Through the bond, Jake felt her sincerity, her gratitude, and something else. Something that felt like affection growing into something deeper. For better or worse, he said softly. In sickness and in health, she replied, meeting his eyes. Somewhere in the vast darkness between stars, something changed. The galaxy's most dangerous woman and her accidental husband became something more. They became true partners. Behind them, across human space, the legend grew. Commander Victoria Cross and her mysterious husband, fighting corruption wherever they found it. Some people called them heroes. Others called them vigilantes. But everyone agreed on one thing. They were just getting started. News networks played the footage over and over. One small ship standing between civilians and death. One woman demanding that the powerful remember their humanity. And they did. The galaxy watched and learned that courage still mattered. That standing up to evil could work. That sometimes doing the right thing was enough. And two people, bonded by accident but partners by choice, proved that together they could change the galaxy one fight at a time. The legend was growing. And so was the list of people who feared them. Because the most dangerous woman in the galaxy now had something she never had before: a true partner. An equal. Someone who would stand with her against any odds. Together they were unstoppable, and the galaxy was about to find out what that really meant. The message came from Earth itself. The Terran Assembly wanted to meet with Commander Victoria Cross. Official channels promised her safety. Unofficial channels warned her it was obviously a trap. Victoria decided to go anyway. "This is stupid," Jake said for the 10th time as they approached Earth. "They tried to execute you 6 months ago. Now they want to give you a medal? Something is very wrong here." "Everything is wrong," Victoria agreed. "That is exactly why I need to go. The corruption we exposed goes deeper than Admiral Holloway. There are powerful people who want the old system back. The system where they could do whatever they wanted without anyone stopping them. And walking right into their headquarters is going to help how?" She turned to him. Through their bond, he felt her determination mixed with something else. Fear. Not for herself, but for him. "Jake, there is something you need to know about the Zenthari bonding ceremony." Lucy finally finished translating all the documentation. Lucy's voice was unusually serious. "The bond that connects you is permanent and biological, but there is a failsafe built in. If one partner dies, the other experiences a neurological cascade. It usually results in death within hours. The Zenthari call it the joining. Bonded pairs are never separated, even by death." Jake felt his blood go cold. "You are telling me if Victoria dies, I die too?" "Yes," Lucy confirmed. "And the reverse is also true. Which is why you are staying on the ship," Victoria said firmly. "This meeting is dangerous. If something happens, I need you safe." "Absolutely not, Jake, please, no. Till death do us part, remember? Those are not just empty words anymore. If you die, I die, which means we need to keep each other alive together. I will not risk you. You do not get to decide that alone. We are partners, equal partners, and partners do not let each other walk into danger alone." They stared at each other. Through the bond, their emotions collided. Her fierce need to protect him met his stubborn determination to stand beside her. Finally, Victoria smiled. It was full of pride. "You have learned too much from me. That is what marriage is for. Mutual corruption." They landed at the Terran Assembly Building in Geneva. It was the heart of Earth's government. Security guards escorted them through huge marble halls filled with art and history. Jake noticed the guards were nervous. Their hands stayed near their weapons. Victoria walked like she owned the place. The assembly chamber was packed. Hundreds of representatives from every human world. Military leaders. Corporate executives. And sitting in the center, looking smug and confident, was Senator George Carter. He was head of the Military Oversight Committee and Victoria's loudest critic. "Commander Cross," Carter said smoothly. "Thank you for accepting our invitation. And this must be your famous husband, Jake Morrison. Welcome to Earth. Skip the fake politeness," Victoria said. "Why am I here?" "Straight to business. I always admired that about you. Very well. The Assembly has reviewed your recent activities. The incident at Sigma Station. Your interference at New Hope Colony. Your ongoing campaign against what you call corruption. What I call war crimes," Victoria corrected. "Yes, well, the issue is that you have been acting without authority, taking the law into your own hands. While some of your revelations have been useful, your methods are very concerning. Get to the point." Carter smiled like a shark. "The point, Commander, is that we are offering you a choice. Accept a full pardon for all charges. Return to the Terran Defense Force with full rank and honors. Agree to stop your unsanctioned activities, or face trial for treason, conspiracy, and about 50 other charges including assault and destruction of property." Through the bond, Jake felt Victoria's anger spike hot and fierce, but her voice stayed calm. "And if I accept your pardon, I assume you will give me assignments that keep me far away from the corruption you are trying to hide?" "We prefer to call it strategic placement. You have made powerful enemies, Commander. This is your chance to step back, survive, and let the system work." "The system you are part of?" "The system that allowed Sigma Station to exist. That looked away while corporations murdered colonists for profit?" Victoria stepped forward. Guards tensed. "Senator, you are not offering me a pardon. You are trying to silence me, and you are using my husband as leverage." Carter's smile disappeared. "I do not know what you mean." "Yes, you do. You know about the Zenthari bond. You know that if you kill me, Jake dies too. You are betting I will not risk his life to keep fighting you." The chamber exploded in shocked voices and angry shouts. Carter's face went red. "That is a serious accusation," he said. "Lucy," Victoria said calmly, "play the recording." Every screen in the chamber lit up with audio. Senator Carter's voice was clear and unmistakable. "The bond will keep her in line. She will not risk the husband. Bring them in, offer the pardon, and if she refuses, we have legal justification to eliminate her. The husband is acceptable collateral damage." The chamber erupted in chaos. Representatives shouted. Carter tried to speak, but his voice was drowned out by the noise. Victoria waited for quiet. When it finally came, she spoke softly, but everyone heard every word. "I came here today ready to die, ready to accept that fighting for what is right might cost me everything. But my husband reminded me that I am not alone anymore, that we fight together, and he is right. So here is my counteroffer." She pulled out a small data chip and held it up. On this chip is evidence, not just about Sigma Station or New Hope. Evidence of every illegal operation, every covered-up crime, every corrupt deal that powerful people in this government have made for the last 10 years. I spent 6 months compiling it, verifying it, backing it up in 100 different locations. If anything happens to me or Jake, it all goes public. Every single file. "You are blackmailing the government?" someone shouted. "No," Victoria said. "I am ensuring accountability. You made a mistake when you tried to silence me. You assumed I was alone. One person who could be eliminated or controlled. But I am not alone. There are thousands of people watching now, paying attention, demanding better. People who saw what happened at New Hope and decided that corporate profits matter less than human lives. People who read the Sigma Station files and demanded justice." She looked around the chamber, meeting eyes, letting her gaze linger on Carter. "You cannot silence all of us, and you cannot kill an idea. The idea that people matter more than power. That doing the right thing is worth the risk. That ordinary people can stand up to corruption and win." Jake stepped forward to stand beside her. "She is right. I am nobody special. Just a cargo trader who accidentally married the galaxy's most dangerous woman. But I learned something from her. Courage is not about not being afraid. It is about doing what is right anyway. And if she is willing to risk everything for that, then so am I." The chamber was completely silent. Finally, an older woman stood up. Representative Patricia Klein from Mars Colony. She had a reputation for honesty. "I move that we accept Commander Cross's evidence, launch a full investigation into these allegations, and grant her immunity in exchange for testimony." "Seconded," someone called. Carter tried to object, but he was shouted down. The vote was not even close. Carter was arrested. So were 3 other senators and 2 generals. The evidence Victoria provided would spark investigations that would last for years. As they left the building, Jake could feel Victoria's exhaustion through the bond. She had been carrying this weight for so long, fighting alone against impossible odds. "It is not over," she said quietly. "There will be more fights. More corruption to expose. The powerful do not give up easily." "I know," Jake said. "But you are not alone anymore." Victoria stopped walking and faced him. "Jake Morrison, when I married you in that pirate station, I thought I was just using you to escape. I thought you would be a temporary problem in my life. And now? Now I think I might be the luckiest woman in the galaxy." They walked back to the Valkyrie together. 2 unlikely partners bound by accident, fighting for justice and finding love in the chaos. The galaxy would remember them. The commander and the traitor. The warrior and the witness. Together they were unstoppable, and they were just getting started. 6 months passed after the confrontation at the Terran Assembly. 6 months of investigations and trials. 6 months of corrupt officials being arrested. 6 months of the system slowly, painfully cleaning itself. And 6 months of Victoria and Jake learning what it meant to be truly married. They were not hiding anymore. The Valkyrie traveled openly between star systems. Victoria testified at trials. She gave interviews. She worked with reformers inside the military to rebuild trust. Jake stood beside her through all of it, learning that being a partner to a legend meant stepping into the light himself. It was not easy. There were still enemies, still people who wanted them dead. But they had each other, and through their bond, they were stronger than any threat. They were on a station called Haven's Rest when the final piece of their story fell into place. Haven's Rest was a peaceful station on the edge of human space. It catered to travelers and families. Victoria and Jake had stopped there for supplies and a rare moment of rest. They were in a cafe, drinking terrible coffee and arguing about their next destination, when a young girl approached their table. She was maybe 10 years old with dark hair and nervous eyes. She held a data pad in both hands. "Commander Cross?" she said quietly. Victoria looked up. Her expression softened in a way Jake had only started seeing recently. "Yes?" "My name is Sophie. My family was on New Hope Colony. We were there when the corporate ships came, when you saved us." Victoria's face went very still. "I remember New Hope. I wanted to say thank you. My mom said we would be dead if you had not come. She said you risked your life, even though you did not know us, even though helping us put you in danger." The girl's voice shook. "You are my hero. I want to be like you when I grow up, brave and strong and someone who helps people." Victoria looked at this child, this living proof that what she did mattered, and something in her expression cracked wide open. Jake felt it through their bond. Pride, joy, and a deep, overwhelming sense of purpose. "Sophie," Victoria said gently, "being brave does not mean not being scared. It means doing the right thing even when you are scared. You do not need to be like me. You just need to be the best version of yourself." The girl smiled. "Will you sign my data pad?" Victoria signed it. Sophie hugged her quickly and ran back to her mother, who was watching from across the cafe with tears in her eyes. The woman mouthed the words "thank you" before leading her daughter away. Jake watched Victoria process the encounter. He could feel her emotions through their bond. She had spent so long being called dangerous, being feared and hunted, that she had forgotten what she was really fighting for. Moments like this. Children, who got to grow up because she refused to look away from injustice. "That is why we do it," Jake said quietly. "All the danger, all the fighting, for moments like that." Victoria nodded. She could not speak. Her throat was too tight with emotion. They left the cafe and walked through the station. Around them, people recognized Victoria. Some looked nervous, but more and more people smiled, nodded. A few even said, "Thank you." The galaxy's most dangerous woman was becoming something else. A symbol of hope. Proof that one person could stand against corruption and win. They were heading back to the Valkyrie when Lucy's voice came through their communicators. "Commander Jake, you need to return to the ship immediately. We have a situation." They ran. When they reached the Valkyrie, Lucy displayed a message on the screens. It was marked with the highest government security clearance. "This is from the Terran Defense Force," Lucy said. "They have a job offer for you, both of you." Victoria read the message. Her eyebrows went up. "They want to create a new division, independent operations, a team that investigates corruption and protects civilians without political interference. They want me to lead it. And they want you as my second in command, Jake." Jake stared at the screen. "Me? I am just a traitor. I do not have military training." "You have 6 months of experience with the most dangerous woman in the galaxy," Lucy pointed out. "That counts for more than most military training. Plus, the bond makes you an ideal partner for Victoria. You sense threats she might miss. You think differently than she does. You balance her." Victoria looked at Jake. "What do you think?" "I think this is what we have been working toward. A way to fight corruption from inside the system, with official support, resources, legal authority." Jake smiled. "Though I am not sure how I feel about being someone's second in command." "You would not be second in command," Victoria said. "You would be my equal partner. Co-commanders. That is the only way I would accept this." "They will not like that. They do not have to like it. Those are my terms." Jake felt warmth spread through him, through their bond and through his own emotions. She was not just saying words, she meant it. After everything they had been through, all the battles and dangers and impossible situations, she saw him as her true equal. "Okay," he said. "Let's do it. Let's build something that actually protects people instead of protecting the powerful." Victoria sent their acceptance with one condition. She and Jake would be equal co-commanders or they would not do it at all. The response came back within an hour. Accepted. They were given a ship, not a warship, but something better. A fast, well-armed vessel designed for investigation and rescue. They were given a crew of volunteers, people who believed in what Victoria represented, people who wanted to make a difference. They were given authority to investigate anywhere in human space, to expose corruption wherever they found it, to protect civilians from those who would hurt them. It was everything Victoria had been fighting for, a way to change the system from inside, to prove that doing the right thing could work within legal channels, to show that courage and determination and refusing to give up could actually win. On their first day in command of the new division, Jake stood on the bridge of their new ship and looked at Victoria. She stood tall and confident, giving orders to their crew, planning their first mission. She was in her element. But she was also different from the woman he had accidentally married on a pirate station 6 months ago. She smiled more now, laughed occasionally, trusted people, let others help her instead of trying to do everything alone. Through their bond, Jake felt her contentment, her sense of purpose, and something else. Love. Real, deep, unshakable love for the man who had stood beside her through everything, who had believed in her when everyone else called her a criminal, who had become her true partner in every way that mattered. "Ready, husband?" she asked. "Ready, wife," Jake replied. Together they set course for their first mission. Together, they would continue the fight for justice across the galaxy. Together, they proved that two people bonded by accident could change the universe by choice. The legend of Commander Victoria Cross and Jake Morrison would grow. Stories would be told about the most dangerous woman in the galaxy and the traitor who became her equal. Children would play games pretending to be them. Songs would be written, shows would be made. But the real Victoria and Jake did not care about fame or legend. They cared about the people they saved, the corruption they exposed, the lives they changed. They had found each other by accident in a pirate prison. They had married to escape danger, but they had chosen to stay together, chosen to be partners, chosen to love each other through every danger and every victory. Till death do us part was not just a vow anymore. It was a promise, a bond deeper than biology or ceremony, a choice they made every single day to stand together against whatever the galaxy threw at them. And the galaxy, watching their legend grow, learned something important. Love and courage together were unstoppable. Justice backed by determination could win, and two ordinary people refusing to accept evil could change everything. The galaxy's most dangerous woman had found her perfect match, not because he was as dangerous as her, but because he made her better, made her remember why she fought, made her human again. Together, Victoria Cross and Jake Morrison sailed into the stars. Partners, equals, husband and wife. And the galaxy would never be the same.